Hello, everyone. I'm MisterFrisco. Welcome to my real estate podcast. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Today on my podcast, Frisco Housing Market Insight, I will talk about your best hedge against the inflation as well. We will discuss taxes with my guest, Andrew Barker, CPA and CFO. And we are going to talk about pickleball in Frisco.
Meet Mr. Frisco, a realtor selling residential real estate in Frisco and far North Dallas. As a former professional athlete, track and field, and strength and conditioning coach, Mr. Frisco immigrated to the USA 20 years ago with $50 in his pocket, a suitcase, and zero English to pursue the American dream and build a successful real estate business. Hardworking, persistent, customer service, and detail-oriented, Mr. Frisco strives to secure a smooth closing on his client's biggest investment, their home. He puts his experience and knowledge to serve his clients the best way possible. Building his business by referral allows him to maintain relationships with his clients and serve them even after the transaction is closed. This is Frisco Realty News with Mr. Frisco.
So let's start with some insights about the Frisco housing market. Having the right data at your fingertips can make all the difference in your real estate decision. With this comprehensive update, grabs the market pulse and position yourself for success. If you are considering buying or selling a house in Frisco, you must listen this. Here is a quick summary of the main points. Home prices are on the rise in Frisco. Yes, you heard it well. The home prices are on the rise. The median home price in Frisco in September is $693,000. That's a 9.1% jump from last year and 1.2% increase from August. Good news for homeowners and sellers as the value of houses in Frisco continue to climb. The robust real estate market in Frisco is not only benefiting homeowners and sellers, but it also reflects the city's growing appeal as a prime destination for both residents and investors alike. Few homes are for sale on the market in Frisco. There are 18.5% fewer homes on the market compared to the last year, with only 340 homes currently up for grabs. That's also a 7.4% drop from August. With fewer choices out there, buyers need to make quick decisions. The limited inventory of available homes, coupled with the decreasing trend in supply, puts pressure on buyers to act swiftly and make well-informed decisions in the competitive Frisco real estate market. So, sales have slowed down as well. In September, 165 homes were sold only, which is a slight decrease of 2.4% from the last year and a 6.8% drop from August. Despite this, the value of homes remains strong due to higher prices. Houses in Frisco stayed on the market for an average of 22 days, and this is longer than last year and 7 days more than in August. This gives buyers extra time and a negotiation power. The pending sales keep going down, with only 127 homes pending sales in September. There was a 26.6% drop from last year and a 20.7% decrease from August. This trend may signal a slowing market creates chance for eager buyers soon. It's still seller's market in Frisco. Frisco is still very much seller's market, with homes lasting on average 2.2 months, slightly less than the last year. This means it's still a good time for homeowners thinking about selling. And now it's a good time to maximize your home investment in Frisco while the cost of homes keeps increasing, making sellers happy. The slowing sales and longer market times may bring opportunities for buyers. With changing in the market, carefully planning is a key, and I am here to help guide you through buying or selling, providing the needs, support, and knowledge for smart housing decisions in Frisco. So, you're hearing all about inflation every single day on the news, and you are wondering what's your best hedge against inflation. So let's talk about it now. So you're thinking about making a big financial move, perhaps the biggest one you will ever make. Well, buying a home isn't just about having a place to hang your hat. It's a financial powerhouse. Let's talk about why owning a home is the best defense against inflation and how it can positively impact your life. You may have not only heard of inflation, but you are experiencing it as you are listening my podcast now. The pesky thing that makes your money worth less over time. While stocks can be a roller coaster, a home is a solid investment that usually goes up in value. And there is more good news. As you pay off your mortgage, you build up equity, which is the portion of the home you truly own. This adds to your overall net worth, making you financially strong. Plus, homeowners on average, gaining, listen to that, $32,300 in equity in the last quarter. Impressive, isn't it? So, ever worried about home changing taxes and insurance costs may affect your monthly payments? Well, with a fixed rate mortgage, that's not an issue. Your monthly payment stays about the same, making it easier to plan your budget. And let's not forget, the interest on your mortgage, along with property taxes and insurance premiums, could be tax deductible. Just check with your tax advisor to be sure. One of the coolest things about owning your home is that you can do whatever you want with it. Well, with some exceptions, if you have an HOA. So, won't paint a bright green wall? Well, you go for it. Are you thinking about renovating a kitchen? No need to ask for permission. And if you ever need extra cash for home projects or anything else, a home equity line of credit has you covered. So, solid advice is critical whether you're buying for your first home or looking into other kind of property, like a second home or an investment property. And as a trusted expert in real estate, I'm here to help you before, during, and after the sale. Got friends or family with real estate needs in another state? Well, I can hook you up with excellent agents across the country, making your life that much easier. So why wait? Just take the plunge and invest in your home today. The best defense against inflation. So now it's a time for my guest, the CPA and CFO, Andrew Barker. Hey, Andrew, how are you?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, good to have you on my show. So, you're CPA and CFO, and we're just, I believe we're just around the corner of the tax extension season, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So it's a good time to talk taxes because the next tax season is coming pretty soon.
Yeah, that's right. the way it's evolved is everyone thinks of April 15th as they should, but many people, for valid reasons, it gets pushed out on extension, and that this year that just ended October 15th. So everyone will get a chance to catch their breath, and then before you know it, right, tax season will start again.
Yeah. So you have your own company, Middle Market Advisors, Advisory LLC, and you are CPA, and you are a third-party CFO, which
that's right.
People are going to find out what that means, third-party. But tell me something about. Tell the audience something about you. You have been with KPMG.
That's right.
You have had 25 years of experience in the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you have, you worked in Mexico. You were with KPMG, I believe.
That's right.
Yes,
KPMG and mergers and acquisitions.
So it's a great background. So tell us, how did you decide to jump in that field, and what made you just become a CPA?
All right, that's a lot. I'll try and give the quick version.
Just one by one. Don't worry.
Yeah, to be very transparent, people are like, well, why? That's a great question, right? Why would you become a CPA or any particular profession? And it was process of elimination. I was an undergrad. Okay, I didn't like that. I was just trying everything. I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my adult life, my professional life. And I just started trying everything they offered at City University of New York. And somehow I was doing well at accounting and economics, and went the accounting path because of the attractiveness of having that license, which is very well valued, more, I think, even more now than ever. So that's what led me to the CPA accounting tax path. It was just experimenting in college in the academic sense with, okay, what am I good at? What can I earn a living at? And it has to be at least to some degree enjoyable. So I found that I'm actually pretty good with numbers, whether it's economics, accounting, tax, practical use of numbers versus, let's say, physics I'm not quite into the engineering mindset. So, yeah.
Well, engineering is numbers too, huh?
Yeah, I mean, engineering, I've worked with amazing engineers, and they are often very good at financial analysis. A lot of respect for engineering folks. I have family members that are engineers. Just my path, it took me more of the business number side of it than the engineering side.
Yeah, well, great. So, why actually someone needs a CPA? So, you have TurboTax, you have all these softwares. People say, come on, I'm going to pay for CPA,
Not everybody needs a CPA. Let's start there. Not everybody needs a CPA. TurboTax is going to work for a lot of folks. If you have a simple tax life, and stereotypically you think of someone who has a 9-to-5 job or a 9-to-9 job, but the point is they're just getting a W-2. They have a home, some children, and it's pretty straightforward and simple. TurboTax, as long as they have the patience to work through TurboTax, it'll probably be fine for them. Where the people need a CPA is someone who has a W-2 job, but then, oh, wait a second, they also own 5 or 6 rental homes. Oh, wait, we're not done yet. They also invest in the stock market, so every year they have gains or losses from those investments, and we're still not done because they are invested in some private companies that are limited liability corporations. So right there, that's no longer a simple tax return. So that kind of person it's more than likely worth the expense to have a professional help them through the process. And even more importantly, we tend to think of tax tactically or short-term or an annual process, but that's a mistake because then you lose the ability to plan. When you look at it, okay, I have to do my taxes for this year, but the decisions you make on your tax return this year, in terms of things like, in particular, think of investing, whether it's at an investment property or a 401k plan or all these different avenues to invest, they also have tax implications. So if you only manage it as an annual process, whether by yourself using TurboTax or with a professional, you're shortchanging yourself. And that's where the professionals really are going to add a lot of value, because at that point, let's be brutally honest, most people don't have either the desire nor the time to become tax experts, right? And the laws are changing constantly.
Yeah.
So I'm talking just at the federal level, then add to that the additional complexity, which we don't have so much, thankfully, here in Texas, at the state level, right? So very quickly, as one's life becomes more complex, as it tends to, as one becomes more successful in one's career and or businesses, it's like going to the doctor once or twice a year. Even if you feel okay, go.
Yeah. Prevention.
Right? Right. Prevention and planning, right? So you get early warning. If there's and on the tax side, it's not, don't think of it negatively. It can be positive. Like, okay, well, you may qualify for something next year based on what we're seeing this year, and we'll be ready to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm a realtor, and I have a lot of clients that are, business owners, self-employed, 1099 employee. And, when they say, I'm thinking to buy a home, it's all right. Okay, so you need to talk to a mortgage person, but the other person that you need to talk is your CPA, because you need to know how to structure your taxes for the next year in order to qualify. Because, to get qualified for a loan, if you're self-employed, they take the last 2 years. And that's very important, that communication between the lender and the CPA to file your taxes properly in order to qualify for a loan.
That is a great example. I'm going to start using that one as well, because again, it's the value in being proactive. And this is why people say, listen, you're required to, almost everybody's required to file every year. Almost everybody, there are exceptions. Let's keep it simple. Let's presume that you are required to file. Even if you don't owe much, or even if you don't think you're getting back much. To your point, you don't want to be ready to buy a home or some other piece of real estate, and then, wait a second, I haven't filed last year, and now you're in a rush to file, right? And you may lose that investment opportunity because the market's not going to wait. So whether it's on a business side, I call it corporate hygiene, like brushing your teeth every day, or on the personal family side, these are good practices to maintain your overall financial and tax health of both your family and your business.
Yeah. Yeah,
good point.
Yeah, that's things that people don't think of, and they got disappointed. So, oh man, the loan officer told me that I am not qualified to buy, or like a small condo even. I said, well, so that's why I always say tell my clients and advise them to advise with CPA and their loan officer. All right, so. I'm less familiar with your CFO stuff, all right? This is something that a lot of people don't understand, but it's more important, I believe, for companies,
yes.
for small size, middle size companies. Yes. Can you briefly explain the role of
sure.
CFO in a company and what you guys do?
Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, sure. And to everybody listening or watching, there's a lot of alphabet soup, like in any profession or specialty. So CFO is Chief Financial Officer. The Chief Financial Officer is responsible ultimately for everything accounting related. So accounting includes from your very basic bookkeeping all the way up to your financial statements, your financial statement presentation, financial planning and analysis, so budgeting, projections, forecasts. And what really makes a CFO different than, let's say, an accountant or a CPA or a controller or other accounting figures, they are directly involved in strategy. So most controllers, or the controllership as a title or as a role, is typically not strategic. CFOs, by definition, it's strategic. You're not only looking at the past, which accounting is designed to record business history. That's really why the Italians created accounting. But as a CFO, you're using that accounting knowledge, that business history to try and evaluate business scenarios in the future. That's what makes a CFO is it has to have a strategic component, or it's just a CFO in title. And there's a lot of, as we know, a lot of titles that don't really reflect what people are doing, whether they're doing more or less than the title would imply. But that's really what makes a CFO strategic. So the CFO is helping the CEO and the owners look at everything financial accounting and tax related, and often working closely these days with IT and looking at the business plan and the strategic alternatives. And okay, what are our options? And it gets very complicated very quickly, because you're not just looking at the past, you're looking at several alternatives. And then if you're doing business in different regions, whether of North America or of the world, it's complexity on top of complexity on top of complexity. So what the CFO really does is try to take all that complexity and translate it into relatively easy to understand options for the company's owners and management and the board.
Okay, so it looks like CFO plays a crucial role in a company, planning, financial planning, budget, and all these things.
Yeah.
So can you describe your approach to financial management and long-term planning for your clients? What actually is your approach?
My approach has to be first, where are we starting from? So and this is really simple. And this also applies to taxes. Do you have good basic bookkeeping done? Even before we talk about accounting, which is generally accepted accounting principles and other levels of complexity, like just plain old mom and pop, coffee shop bookkeeping. Do you have that done well? Have you done bank recs? Right? Do you know how many checks you have outstanding? Do you know how much money is due to you?
I know.
Like you'd be surprised, even for all cash businesses. And I think it's just perhaps they think it's so simple they don't need to pay attention to it. But you really do have to have your basic bookkeeping and reporting done for your ongoing business, because if that's not in order, we can't. We need the basics done well to add more value. So the first thing is that done well. If it isn't, then that's what has to be immediately rectified. If that is done well, which more often than not it is, that's when you start say, okay, here's where we are. What is the current business plan? What is the current strategy? And often there isn't one they can articulate, because maybe they're a very successful business, family-owned business. They've been manufacturing widgets around the world, including here in DFW, for decades. And they're like, well, what do you mean strategy? We make widgets and we sell them. Okay, that's valid. Well, do you want to keep making the same exact widgets, selling them to the same exact people, or what possible changes could coming along in your markets? What possible changes on the tax side of things for businesses that could create additional incentives or perhaps barricades for your business? It's being, again, proactive in taking the financial knowledge you have of the business, making sure it's accurate, and then using that to do value-added planning. And value-added planning is not just marketing speak. You will find that almost always, including with profitable companies, where they've left money on the table and don't even see it because they're profitable, because they're doing well. So well, we're doing great. Yeah, you are doing great. But you have $5 million hung up in receivables in Europe. You have more receivables, accounts receivable, clients haven't paid you in over 90 days. And then you work through that with them. Like, is this part of your deliberate business planning that you give more time to your client? If so, that's fine. But let's be explicit about that so we understand why we're doing it, understand what's the cost of that. It's not free. It's a cost to you to provide that additional month of credit to your clients. And the same thing with your inventory hung up in Europe that's slow moving. Was that a deliberate business decision to have that inventory there? If so, let's understand why. Let's understand the costs associated with that. Great. But if that's just quote unquote an accident, or well, it just turned out that way, well, then we need to address how are we converting that $5 million of inventory back to cash? Are we going to do some kind of promotion? Right? So very quickly you get into the operations of the business from the financial side as a chief financial officer. And that's not typically done to anywhere near that degree for the accounting manager or controller etc. And if the firm is big enough to have, the company or business is big enough to have a COO, they'll work closely together. And many times for middle market and smaller businesses, the CFO is really de facto either doing the COO, Chief Operating Officer, pardon me folks, COO, Chief Operating Officer work, or sharing it with the CEO or the founder. So I gave you a long answer, but these are the kind of, very quickly, there's so much interconnected that's not always easy to see. And that's often where there's value. And again, often for companies that are also already profitable and have lots of cash.
Yeah. Well, actually, you partially answered the part of the other question that I have. How do you balance risk management with growth and innovation with your role as a CFO? So you partially...
No, let me... But I want, if you don't mind, let me elaborate a little on the risk management part.
Yeah, that's important.
It's a thorn in my side, the risk management aspect of things overall. It's when things are going great, no one cares about it, right? You don't need insurance.
Nobody cares when things go great.
But then when there's a tornado, when the tornado hits your factory or your warehouse or your office, I hope you had insurance, right? It's so that's the other thing is risk management. Let's think, what is the most basic aspect of risk management? We just said it, insurance. You would be shocked, and how many business owners that are listening or other professionals, go ahead and check. When's the last time you actually looked at what's in your insurance, what your insurance plan covers? Your business insurance. And this applies to your personal and other insurance as well. But right now we're talking at a business level, right? You'd be amazed at how many companies, and well-run, profitable companies that are growing, great companies, but it sort of falls through the cracks. Well, it's not really, it's sort of, we have insurance in place so it doesn't get reviewed. It's not considered strategic, right? It's not the most exciting thing on anyone or important things on anyone's immediate agenda. But then you'll find, and I'm thinking of a real case for a client here in Plano. Not only were they overpaying for their insurance by a significant amount, they were underinsured. So they had the worst of both worlds. They were paying very high premiums, but if they weren't covered against common things such as any kind of accusation related to the Me Too movement, they were inadequately covered. They didn't even have a policy in place related to information technology. So it's like, wait a second, we need to get some quotes, because I'm not an insurance expert, but as a chief financial officer, I look at the insurance for all my clients. So you start learning the basics, and you know who to ask the questions to. It's like, we've got to fix this immediately. You can't go on this way, because none of us can predict the future. And if that tornado hits us tomorrow, we better have coverage. And the way I see it as a CFO is, God forbid that tornado did hit us, I don't want to be the one to have to show up and say, oh yeah, we didn't have adequate coverage for that.
Wow. Okay. So in your experience, what are the most significant challenges CFOs face today, and how do you navigate through them? It's a business environment is getting, very complicated, and it's always been, but it's lately, I don't know. So you're in this field. So tell me, what are your significant challenges are?
Yeah, well, our motto is we like it complicated. It's good that we do, because it isn't going to get any more simpler, as you're saying. The biggest challenge is, and this applies to all fields, not just CFO, Chief Financial Officer, but it's the things that you need to learn something about, you learn about it, or you bring on the resources, you address it. It's trying to think ahead to where you'll be blindsided, and everyone gets so caught up and so busy with the ongoing closing out this month. How are we doing on our sales? How are we doing on our bank loans or equity capital coming in? All these things that really are important, that you don't make time for things. And the way I do this, and here's a really practical way to sort of try and force you and your team to do it, is, what are we forgetting that we're going to walk out of here and wish we had mentioned? And just take a second look. Is there anything even if it's low probability that or another way to put the question is, okay, what's the most unexpected thing that could happen related to this? It's just like to just try and have a mental discipline of expecting the unexpected, so you're not ever totally blindsided.
Okay. So let's talk about when people just talk with CPAs. When people talk with me, for example,
Right.
the first question is, how is the market?
Right.
Market's always great. So when people are listening an interview with the CPA and CFO, they always, expect to hear any advice, simple, major. But let me ask you something.
Yeah.
There are a lot of self-employed, and their advice to run their business through corporation, LLC or S corporation. Why?
Okay.
Let's say I'm a realtor.
Okay. Let's keep it simple. The most basic reason, the most important reason, and I'm being specific here, not an S corporation. Keep it simple. Let's start with LLC. The most important reason is it's not accounting or tax. It's risk management. It's that LLC is providing you, as long as you set it up correctly and maintain it correctly, it's providing you with the most basic level of corporate, so to speak, legal defense. So if you have an LLC and that LLC is involved in a lawsuit, well, whoever is suing has to sue that LLC first. They may sue you in parallel, but when your lawyer gets involved, they have to go through that LLC first. So it's providing you a first line of defense. In plain English, that LLC is providing you a first line of defense, and you cannot get that particular first line of defense any other way other than having a legal entity. So that, in a nutshell, is really why. S corporation and LLC are not synonymous people. They're not synonyms. And as we could do a whole podcast just on S corps and LLCs, but keeping it as simple as possible, LLC is as simple as it gets and gives you that first level of protection. And quite frankly, it's a more professional way to run your business. So yes, everybody should. If they're going to be in that line of business for anything more than a year or two, well, why wouldn't you? They're not expensive to form. You can have your attorney help you, or you can do it yourself. Again, whether it's TurboTax or forming an LLC, if you do not feel comfortable to do it yourself, do not do it yourself. This is an area where you do not want to learn the hard way, and this is not like falling off the bicycle and skinning your knees and you get up and try again. No, this is falling off the bicycle down the side of a mountain, and you'll live, but it's just going to be painful in a long recovery period. So if you feel comfortable, you go ahead, and there's plenty of information out there, and you do it on your own. But if you have the slightest doubt, get a professional to help you.
Okay. And tax-wise, let's say I'm a realtor and I just run my business through an LLC. What is the difference tax-wise if I file my taxes as a person? Okay. And what's going to be the difference to file my taxes through the LLC?
There's not going to be, taking the simplest case study here, right? In this simplest of all possibilities, very little. You're still going to still have a Schedule C for that business either way.
Okay.
Just when you have the LLC on the top of that Schedule C, you'll have to put the name of the LLC and the ID number for that LLC.
Okay.
So the LLC, it's really something that's really valuable that's been done for us here in the U.S. in terms of legal corporate structure. It's really been a great benefit. It's not overly complicated.
Okay. Any other simple taxes for our audience that they have to know when they approach the tax season? Just 3 lines or something. There's no magic bullet, so to speak. It really is like so many other aspects of life. Be really well organized. Don't wait till the last minute, because if you go for help,
whether it's to a tax attorney, a CPA, or whomever, an enrolled agent, in March and April, they're already working 12, 14, 16 hours a day. But this is one of those cases where you want to be first online. If you have a simple tax life, you'll have all your documents by early February. What's the advantage in waiting? If you do money back, get your money sooner. That does motivate a lot of people. And if you're not sure, well, then find out. And if you owe, find out how much you owe so you have time between February and April 15th to plan it or to make other arrangements, right? There's no benefit to waiting. It should be on everyone's calendar, like just become another one of those things you do every year, like taking an annual vacation or a birthday. I know it's not as pleasant as a birthday or a vacation, but if you make it habitual, it becomes less scary, and by year 3 or 4, you've got it. And every year you learn a little bit, you start asking more questions. If you're working with a professional, they're helping you start doing more planning as your career advances and your business grows. It shouldn't be this horrifying thing it's become.
All right. Well, don't wait to the last moment.
No,
Actually,
don't.
that applies to everything. Yeah.
No.
Don't wait
And then
the
to
last-
make it worse, there's people that wait to the last minute twice. They wait till the last minute file extension, and then they're at the last minute again. And this year was in October.
Oh, boy.
Come on now. I call it missing the easy goals. Don't miss the easy goals.
It's just
Now
natural
you're just
people,
playing. Now you're playing against yourself. Why do that?
Yeah. Well, that's right. All right. You're a networker. So this is the way how we met, actually,
That's right.
networking, which I believe is a great way to grow your business relationships. And I know that you're running your event.
Yeah.
It's a Hispanic. Tell me more about that event.
So
Yeah.
we have a monthly event under Latin America professionals. It's open to everybody, folks. You do not have to speak Spanish or Portuguese. You just have to be a good person. We have a lot of people that are just good, interesting, cosmopolitan people that want to get out and meet a different crowd. But the underlying idea is, and we do have a lot of people that speak Spanish and Portuguese, it's the people that are either from Latin America, have done business in Latin America, or love to go to Latin America as a tourist, or love the history of the region, have any interest at all in the region of Latin America, which is huge, and again, includes Brazil, where Portuguese is spoken. And it's really evolved to just become an event where we network the Latin American way, or the Latin way. So it's more relaxed, it's more social, it's not. We exchange business cards and virtual business cards, but it's a different rhythm. It's more welcoming. It's more like if we see someone come in looking for us, they're a first timer, we're welcoming them in right away. What's your name? And just a little, what do you like to do? And then because immediately we might think of someone else that night to connect you with. It's pretty, Dallas is one of the best cities in the world, literally. And I'm from New York City, which is no slouch at networking, but this city's amazing. DFW is amazing for networking. It's
Right.
So part of it's just taking advantage of that diversity. And that, to me, it's diversity, and the true meaning of the word diversity is we don't have any checklist. You're just getting these really different, interesting people from all walks of life and all over the world, whether it's business, art, music. It's just, I love it. So everybody's welcome. It's informal. We change the venue every month. We have some favorite places, and it's Latin America professionals. It's on LinkedIn, Facebook.
Okay. So it's what's the name of the event?
Latin America professionals.
Latin American professionals. This is how people can find the event. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew, we have to wrap up. But if somebody would like to reach out to you, just what's your contact information?
The
How can
easiest
do
way,
that?
I'm really easy to find. It's middlemarketadvisory.com. That's the website. Contact info is on there. Middle Market Advisory is also on both LinkedIn and Facebook. Just added an Instagram page, and so we're real easy to find. My email is andrewbarker@middlemarketadvisory.com. Barker, Barker. I'm pretty easy to find, and if worst case, they can always ask you for my
Absolutely. Well, okay. Thank you very much for coming to my podcast, and I will see you around.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Ciao.
Okay, so now it's time for our social update for Frisco, and we have a sneak peek at the Hub District's newest attraction coming. And if you like pickleball, you should know about the sneak peek at the Hub District newest attraction that is coming in 2025. It's just around the corner. Frisco is getting ready to become an even more exciting place to live and visit. Pickle and Social, along with Fairway Social, will open a fantastic entertainment spot at Frisco Station in 2025. This venue will bring sports, food, and fun together like never before. Let's us drive in the sneak peek at the Hub District's newest attraction. So, if you love pickleball, you are in for a treat. The new venue will have both indoor and outdoor pickleball courts. You can take lessons, play in leagues, join tournaments, or just enjoy a casual game with friends. It's a dream come true for pickleball fans. But there's more to this place than just pickleball. You will find sports simulators, live shows, great food, signature drinks, and games like cornhole, beach volleyball, and ping pong. It's the perfect spot for people looking for some excitement. This unique venue combines two great ideas: Pickle and Social and Farewell Social. Pickle and Social is known for its top-notch pickleball courts and the idea of mixing sports with food, drinks, and entertainment. Farewell Social offers sports simulators for various games, including golf. This partnership promises to create a fantastic experience for all and everyone. You will find this exciting place in the Hub District of Frisco Station. It covers about 30 acres and offers dining, shopping, entertainment, and events. It's the perfect location for this new adventure. So it's coming in 2025. Construction starts in 2024 and will be the venue will open in the spring of 2025. Frisco is about to become a top destination for sports and fun. Whether you're a pickleball pro or a sports lover or want a good time, this new venue will have something for you. So stay tuned for updates on this fantastic addition to Frisco. Get ready, enjoy sports, entertainment, and delicious food in the city's heart. So thank you for joining me on this episode. And before we sign off, don't forget to subscribe to my podcast and share it with friends and family who may benefit from the information. Your support means a lot to me. Until the next time, happy investing and house hunting.